Winter isn't always kind to wide landscapes. Grey skies, flat light and saturated ground can strip scenes of contrast and scale. But after weeks of steady rain, the woodland streams of the High Weald come alive. This walk follows the Willingford stream, starting low in Dallington Forest and climbing steadily toward Brightling Down, stopping at 5 seasonal waterfalls that only really exist at this time of year. The first waterfall sits just above the ford at the lower end of the forest. It's easy to overlook, especially in drier months. Here the stream spreads across shallow rock shelves, then quietly drops in a series of short steps rather than a single fall. After sustained rain, the water thickens and slows, giving shape to what is otherwise just a gentle woodland flow. It's not dramatic, but it's a clear signal that the stream is active and worth following uphill. A little further upstream, the stream tightens into a shallow gyll and drops over more defined rock steps. This cascade has structure, clean horizontal lines, stacked shelves, and a stronger sense of movement once the water levels rise. Access here is awkward, with steep muddy banks and dense holly crowding the stream. To make this composition work, I had to carefully trim back a small amount of holly, just enough to open a clean line of sight. This feels like a transition point. The stream is no longer just trickling, it's beginning to assert itself. Further on, the stream briefly opens out into a wider pool, backed by a short vertical drop. The character changes here, the woodland thins, and the stream edge begins to feel more domestic. Opening towards the edge of a farmhouse garden. There is open access to the watercourse, but this is a place where discretion matters. Quiet movement, minimal disturbance, and a quick visit. After heavy rain, the waterfall strengthens nicely, while the pool below takes on that muted, earthy colour typical of High Weald clay and sandstone. This feels like a pause point on the walk, calm, contained, and quietly balanced. As the stream climbs closer to Brightling Down, the valley tightens again. Here, the water drops cleanly over a darker sandstone ledge into a narrow pool below. The flow is more concentrated, forming fine vertical ribbons rather than broad cascades. The Gyhll walls are higher, the space more enclosed, with ferns clinging to damp ledges and leaf litter collecting above the fall. This marks the final stretch of the climb, where the stream begins to leave the deeper woodland behind. The final waterfall is the largest, the most hidden, and the most difficult to reach. A large fallen tree partially obscures the view, forcing the use of a wide-angle lens just to take it all in. Rather than a single plunge, the water spreads thinly across a broad sandstone wall, breaking into multiple narrow ribbons as it drops onto the rocks below. After prolonged rainfall, this fall comes into its own. The rock darkens, the water thickens, and the scene feels heavier and more physical than anything lower down. It's demanding, but deeply rewarding. Beyond this point, the stream begins to lose its woodland character as the land opens out above Brightling Down. These waterfalls are not permanent features. Time it wrong, and there's very little to see. But after sustained winter rain, The Willingford stream reveals a quiet sequence of seasonal falls, understated, hidden and easy to miss unless you're prepared to slow down and explore carefully. Sometimes the most rewarding places are the ones that only exist for a short while. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this waterfall trail, please like and subscribe. Check the description for a link to more details on these waterfalls and more, including their precise locations.